What we have are transformations. Transformation transforms something. One of the first transformations we'll talk about is translation. Translation is a slide. It slides a figure left, right, up, down, sideways, but they do not rotate this figure. When we slide, when we translate something, we are moving every point. Every point you see is going to get moved same distance and the same direction. So if you look at these arrows in here, right? So that one arrow is basically moving the same distance and the same direction. Look at the triangle. The question is this a translation? Well, if you look, the triangle did not rotate it. Simply, it just slid, right? It went little sideways. The triangle was just sliding, did not rotate at all, right? This is actually a simple translation because it did not rotate, it didn't do anything else. Every point was basically shifted in the same direction. So if you have a question if this is a translation, it sure is, because it did not rotate, it simply was just sliding, right? Now, look at these figures. We have two rectangles, and the one rectangle is sitting this way, the other rectangle is sitting lengthwise, right? One is more kind of laying down, right, horizontally, and one is vertical. There, what happened was a rotation. So is this a translation? No, because that image had to rotate. So this was not a translation. Now let's look at a problem that is just a little bit different. The question in here, what are the coordinates of A prime, B prime, and C prime? So the problem gives us a triangle A, B, and C. And what they want us to do, they want us to translate the triangle, right? And they want us to translate it in 8 units right and 2 units up. So we have to take each point, each vertex after we plot this triangle and move it. So let's start with the point A. Point A says 2, 1. When I am plotting points, plotting the coordinates, I have to start from the origin, which is in the middle. Then we went 2 units, and it says -2. So we go 2 units to the left, and then 1 unit up. And there's our point A. Now let's plot point B. Point B wants us to go 6 units left because it's -6, and it's on the x-axis, right? And then we have to go 1 unit up. So point B is -6, 1. So first we go on the x-axis and then a y-axis. So -6 and 1 up. Now we have a point C, and point C says -4 and 5. So -4 units on the x and 5 units up following the y-axis. And there's our point C. Connect your points, your vertexes, right? And we have a triangle A, B, and C. Now we have to take this triangle and move it, every vertex, 8 units to the right and then 2 units up. We are going to start with the point A, for instance, right? And the second we move it 8 units to the right and then 2 units up. It's no longer just an A. We give it a little line above it and we call it A prime. The same thing we're going to do with the point B. We're going to take the point B and we're going to move it 8 units to the right. All right. Once we move it 8 units to the right, we're going to go 2 units up, and that's where our point B prime is located. And the same thing we're going to do with the point C. We're going to translate that point, and we're going to translate it 8 units to the right. And then we're going to go 2 units up. When we say units, we kind of count those squares, all right? And there's our point C prime. We're going to connect our dots And there is the translated triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Now we have to provide the coordinates. Now remember, when you're providing the coordinates, x always comes first. X is the movement along the x-axis, right, from the origin. So we have to put it in that order. X comes first and then y. Well, A prime, if I count my units along the x-axis, right, we're going to the right, and we went 6 units to the right. And then we went, if we count that, that's 2, 3 units up, right? 1, 2, 3. Now let's look at point B prime. So again, we're going to start from the origin and see how many units that we moved along the x-axis. And it was 2 units to the right, so it's positive 2. And up, it's 3, right, along the y-axis. And one more point, we have our C prime. And C prime, let's count the units along the x-axis, right? Start from the origin and let's keep counting, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right. And then we have to count how many units did we actually go up, and it was 7. So that corresponds to number 7 on a y and number 4 on the x, and that is our point C prime. And that is the coordinates of A prime, B prime, and C prime. All right, remember the main thing. Coordinates, x comes first, and then there is y for every single vertex. All right, that's the only way to plot our coordinates.